Jess and Amy, I am so thrilled to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you,
Thank
Rebecca.
you for having us.
I have been looking forward to this so much. I love talking about friendship. And when I learned about your book and just have seen you guys online, I thought this is just going to be so much fun because your friendship reminds me of some friendships that I have. Jess and I were talking before we hit record just about how you guys met and sort of the dynamic of your friendship, which I love and can relate to. So before we jump in, I want to be conscious of the fact that we have two guests today and you have different voices and you're different people, which means that I need to give you the floor for a second. So introduce yourselves. Where do you live? What are you about? All the things so people can get used to hearing your voices.
I'm Jess Johnston and I live in Southern California. I've got 4 kids. 2 girls, 8 and 10, and 2 boys, 12 and 14. And my life is complete and utter chaos.
And my name is Amy. I am from West Texas. I've got 3 kids, a husband. I love college football. And that's it. I don't know.
I love it.
I write some things and I make a lot of snacks. That's it.
Yeah, I love that.
Snacks
Okay.
and writing, that's our life.
Yes, snacks and writing. Okay, who are you rooting for in West Texas?
Well, Texas A&M.
Yeah,
All the
I
way.
figured.
Big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was born and bred into Tennessee Vol culture. So it's real difficult to bleed orange right now, but I still do. So that's where I went to college. So yeah, that's so fun.
Watch y'all's bowl game and I feel like, ooh, I'd have been a little salty if I was a Vols fan.
We've been salty for a good bit. I live in South Mississippi now, so I'm having to learn Mississippi football culture as well. And so I feel a little further removed from Tennessee, but it doesn't mean that I still don't love them and want the best for them. And we have had more coaches in the last 10 years than we can say grace over. So anyway, hopefully we'll make a comeback one day, but I love talking college football. It's so fun. So before we started, I loved hearing a little bit about how you guys met and sort of, you guys don't live near one another, as people know. One of you is in Central or West Texas. One of you is in Southern California. So walk us through how you guys met, how you realized like, hey, friendship is something that we both feel really passionate about.
I'll let Jess answer since y'all talked about it.
Amy and I met in a writers group. We were part of an online community. And Amy just honestly pursued me. She slid into my DMs. She said, hey girl, let's connect. And I don't know, we're just cut from the same cloth. Like we very, very quickly realized we had a lot in common. We're both really try to keep things real and authentic. So quickly the messages, Instagram messages turned to phone conversations that lasted hours long. And we just, it also just felt like a God thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Like we connected really easily and she was like a sister that I hadn't met yet. And then it also just felt like a holy connection. Yeah. And as we talked and we're just open and honest about things that we've struggled with in the past, I think one of the big ones for us was loneliness and friendship and connection. And that is now such a passion of ours because we know what it's like not to have that, not to have connection and friendship. And so we really realized that was something that we shared, a passion that we shared. And that's kind of how this whole thing started. One day, Amy was packing to go on a trip and she called me and she said, Jess, I am packing and I have done exactly 5 minutes of research, but I think that we should start a page and it should be all about friendship. And we should call it Sister, I Am With You. Are you in? And I said, I am absolutely in. And that's just kind of how the whole thing was born.
Hey friends, quick break in this conversation to remind you of something. If you are loving the show, you're loving the conversations we're having, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a rating and a written review on Apple Podcasts for Radical Radiance. When that happens, when more of those happen, the show gets put in front of more women. And in turn, it allows them the opportunity to take part in conversations that will show them more about what it looks like to radiate the heart of Jesus. I can't think of anything better than that. So it would mean the world to me if you would take just 2 minutes of your time and leave a rating and a written review. I'd love to hear what you think. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
Yeah.
I could not love that more. So I told you this, Jess, but for people listening and for Amy, I got married about 2.5 years ago. Well, almost three. I need to quit saying 2.5 because it's been almost 3 years. And I married a pastor. We live in South Mississippi, very small town. I moved from Knoxville. So I was in like the throes of SEC college town culture. So I was in a big church. I discipled a ton of college girls that were in and out of my house all the time. I ran with a running group. I just like I had my people, like my deep rooted people. And I have found bits and pieces of that here. However, the dynamic of being a pastor's wife changes a few things about your life, especially your friendships and what that looks like. Because most people in my life, I'm in my life on life here, I'm also their pastor's wife. And so there's just challenges to that. And so one of the things that has been really powerful in this season for me is finding industry friends like you guys were searching for, who are doing the same work that you're doing, and they don't necessarily live where you live, right? Like I don't have friends who do what I do where we live here in South Mississippi. And so that has been such a gift to me in this time. And I mean, most of our friendships are on like Marco Polo and Voxer, right? Like those are the girls that I feel like know probably the most intimate parts of my day and my heart and what I'm working on and those types of things. So I love that that's your all story as well. And so one of the things that I know you're super passionate about talking about in the book, which I don't think I've said the title yet, so I'm going to do that. It's called I'll Be There, but I'll Be Wearing Sweatpants. And I could not love your subtitle, or not your subtitle, but your like little tagline anymore. It's so fun. You. And, the thing that I think sometimes we miss in friendship that you guys are passionate about addressing is kind of going deeper than that surface level friendship that sometimes we settle for. So going in for like the raw and gritty parts of friendship. And I'm curious, how do we do that better? And maybe what do you think stops us from that?
I think we're scared. I mean, I think we're terrified. Can anyone handle this? You don't know that you're the only. Okay, I think that a lot of times we feel that we're the only one who is struggling. We feel like we're the only one who's feeling certain things. And there's no way to know that you're not the only one until you kind of release that. And then someone goes, oh, no, me too. Oh, okay. But you have to release that to begin with. You have to be very vulnerable and sort of let your ego go, let your fear go, and just be vulnerable with it. And that is when you find other people hurt too. Other people are insecure. Other people wonder, am I doing motherhood okay? Am I an okay wife? Am I doing friendship right? Am I the only one who feels left out? And it's not until you release those things and other people get to respond with me too, that you realize you're not the only one. So I think there's a lot of fear in it. And I totally understand that. There really is. But friendship will not happen without vulnerability. Not real friendship. And we talk about this in the book too. A lot of times we think that what we need is to be popular, and we think that we just want to be invited places, and we think that we want to be wanted, but we want more than that. We want to be known. We want to be known. And the only way to be known is to be open with who you are and to be yourself, and all of it, the good, the bad, the wins, the losses, all of it. And so you kind of have to tiptoe in with that. You don't want to share everything right at first with like someone you just met. That's a lot. That's a lot. But you kind of tiptoe in. Hey, is this a safe place? You have a few conversations and you just build. You lay the foundation and then you build brick by brick by brick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so good. Okay. One of the things, and I already said this, that I love about your title is the I'll be wearing sweatpants part, because I think that matters so much. So you talk about this idea of a sweatpants friend. Will you talk about that a little bit and unpack that for people?
Man, a sweatpants friend is just someone that you're not trying to perform for or to be perfect for. Someone you can just let all your guard down and just pull on your old nasty sweats and sit on the couch next to each other, right in between your huge pile of laundry that needs to be folded, and just be real and authentic. And like Amy touched on, like I think with social media culture, and like we often think that connection is the same as popularity. Like if I show this awesome picture perfect version of myself, then people will like me. and they'll admire me and then I'll feel connected, but it's actually not like that at all. I think it even makes you feel more disconnected.
Yeah.
But sweatpants friends are people that it's literally the opposite of that. There's no striving, there's no performing, there's no pretending. And when you find those friends that you can be completely yourself with, it's just the greatest gift ever.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And, something else that I think we overlook many times, and you've touched on this, is that friendships take time. And we live in a generation and in a time where we just want things instantly. The idea of Amazon Prime, right? So we can't Amazon Prime our friendships. And we know that. However, sometimes we want to, especially if we're desperate for that connection or we feel really lonely. And so how do we do a better job of even like starting, right? Like sometimes it just feels hard to start and know where to start in making adult friendships. So how do we do that better?
Well, you just get out there. And I keep saying that, like, the first thing is genuinely, like, you got to play it like Ariel and you have to be where the people are, Because like the last thing, someone is not going to come knock on your door and be like, hey, would you like to be my friend? And if they do, you should not be their friend. You should for sure call the police. Like, that is not, it's not how it works. Nobody's going to come knocking down your door. You kind of have to be an active participant. And I 100%, I know that that's hard. I am a homebody. I am pretty introverted. And it is hard to be out there, but there was just, some realizations. If you want to meet people, you will have to be where they are, and you can live your life one of two ways. And you kind of have to make a decision and make a very conscious effort, but you can live your life sitting there waiting for things to happen to you, or you can go out and make them happen. So go out and make them happen. Be an active participant in your life. Do not wait for an invitation. You give the invitation. Don't wait for someone to say hi to you. Go say hi. Be weird. Yeah. Be weird. Being weird is not the worst thing in the world. I'd rather be weird and be making connections than, just sit back and waiting for it to happen. Go out and make it happen. You have the power to do these things. Do it. And there is someone out there who is waiting for exactly what you're trying to give. There is somebody waiting for it. Yeah. So just
yeah, that's so good. And another thing that I think holds us back is some of the lies that we believe about friendship, which I know is something that you guys touch on in the book. And first of all, when I ask really pointed questions about a book, I always say, this is a teaser because I want you to go grab the book, those of you who are listening. So we'll start there. But for maybe this conversation, what are some real common things that you see that are maybe lies that we believe going into friendship, and how do we combat those?
Man, I think one of the very biggest ones that we talk about all the time is, and that really this book, the heart of this book is meant to kind of blow the lid off of that, is that the lie that I'm the only one. But I'm the only one that feels awkward making new friendships. I'm the only one who doesn't know how to do this. I'm the only one who doesn't have friends. I'm the only one who is just struggling to make it through the day, much less try and pursue new friendships. There's just every single thing that you struggle with friendships, whether it's friendship breakups, whether it's making friends, whether it's going deeper with friends, you are not the only one. And I think we don't talk about that enough. We just assume that women know how to make friendships and everyone else is doing it. But that's just not the case. Like we learned calculus in high school, but we didn't learn how to maintain really healthy friendships as adults. And that would have been really helpful. So I think that that's the lie that I think is the core of all the lies, because it keeps us isolated and alone because we think that no one can understand. And that's just not the case. So I think that's our biggest passion with this book, is to come alongside in our sweatpants and sit next to you in your sweatpants and be like, listen, we know it's really stinking hard. And we know it's really stinking lonely in a lot of seasons of life. And we know you're struggling. Listen, we have been exactly where you are, and we totally get it. And you are not the only one. There's nothing wrong with you. You are the perfect person to have for friendship. There's nothing wrong with you that disqualifies you from friendship.
And I'm even thinking of my friends who are identifying with even me. In the beginning of the episode, I shared about my season of life. And I think we're all more isolated than we used to be, right? COVID just did that to us. So there's that blanket over all of us. And then maybe there are listeners who are like, yeah, Rebecca, I get that. I'm also in a season where I'm not surrounded by people who do what I do, or I'm working remotely more than I used to be. And so I find myself alone a lot more than I was used to. And so maybe there's similar challenges as we've already named here, but I'm wondering for the two of you, your friendship has always been long distance. I'm curious, like, are there things that you have learned that you would want to share as far as how to do that type of friendship really well?
I mean, I think one of the coolest things about Jess and I mean, personally, I think it's one of the coolest things about Jess and I. One is like, if you hang out with us, we're not afraid to like eat. Like we want to go get wings, we want to get burgers, we want to get fries, we want to get tacos, nachos, like we want to eat. Like, don't come at us with a salad. But I think one of the coolest things about Jess and I is we are actually competitors in a sense.
Yeah.
Jess has her own page. I have my own page. We write about similar things. We have similar styles. We are competitors. We're two people doing the same thing in the same industry. And we could have looked at each other and just done our own things and kept going. But I think it's a beautiful thing that we chose to collaborate and realize that, like, I would much rather share a piece of this pie with you and do it together and have that connection, because blogging is a weird world. Like,
so
writing
weird
is a weird thing. And like my friend, if you're not doing it, it's really hard to understand it, but it's a weird thing to do. And it can be a mind trip. So you can compete with people if you want to, but it's better to collaborate. It's better to have a friend in the industry who gets it and knows exactly what you're going through, who you can talk to with it. And so I love that Jess and I collaborated. I love that this was a joint effort. I love that this book has been us coming together when it would have been natural for us to kind of stand on our own ends of the corner, but go, no, let's write this book together, because some people are going to connect with you. Some people are going to connect with me. Hopefully they're going to connect with both of us, and they're going to learn from each of us. And let's just do this together. Cause it's just better to share. It's been better. It's been a beautiful, wonderful thing to have someone to lean on through all of this. And I want women to know that, like, collaborate, find somebody to do it with you. It's better. Yeah. It's better. You don't have to be competitors. There's room for all of us. There is no you win, so I lose. That's not how the world, that's not how things work. Like, there is room for all of us, and we can genuinely hold hands and help each other grow, and we can support each other and fangirl, like, be fans of your friends. I mean, cheer them on. Cheer them on. Cheer people in your same space. Cheer them on. Want them to do well, and it will lift everyone in the group up. So I love that about Jess and I, that we collaborated on this and built something better together than either of us could have done individually.
Yeah. It's so good. And it reminds me of the idea of her success isn't your failure, right? Like, a win for the kingdom of God is a win for the kingdom of God, right? Like, no matter who it is. But I do love, like, y'all didn't have to do this. You live in, Jess, you live in Southern California. Amy, you live in Texas. Like, there were probably challenges that you guys had to overcome in order to do what you've done, but it is so much richer and so much better when we do it together. So I agree. I've had times where I reached out to maybe an industry friend that I've thought, like, okay, I think we would really hit it off. And there's always that moment of like, what am I doing? Like, this feels hard, or this feels like I could not go there, but I'm going to choose to go there. And I can say from personal experience, it's always been worth it. And I'm so, so grateful for, even just the handful that are in my inner circle that I'm able to go to and bounce ideas off of, or say, like, hey, is this working for you? Because it's not working for me, or, those types of things. So, because you're right. And we're not the only people in an industry that feels weird to talk about, right? Like, plenty of other people have jobs that have nuances and weird things. But even for me, walking through, as I shared with Jess, I'm writing my first book right now, having conversations about, pitching it when we were pitching it to publishers and things like that. My friends in real life that I do life on life with, they prayed for me and they asked the questions that they knew to ask, but like, they know nothing about this world. And so it was so valuable to be able to say, like, okay, we heard this feedback, or we heard a really hard no today. And like, what that feels like because you're in this world. So I think,
totally.
if the writing world you can't identify with that, I think everybody can take their own life experience and the work that they do and think like, okay, who could I connect with that would just help me walk down this path more faithfully and with more confidence. So I love that. Yeah. Okay. So we've talked about a lot of the fun aspects of friendship, which I love, and some of the challenges of it, but you also talk in the book, and I don't want to leave this out, about friendship messes. So we all know that these happen, but I'm curious, what are some maybe key principles or things that, obviously we want people to go get the book, but like right now today, if somebody is walking through a little bit of a mess in a friendship, what are some things that you would want them to keep in mind as they walk through that?
I think one thing that comes immediately to mind is giving each other a whole bunch of grace. And the benefit of the doubt. It's very easy if you've experienced, like, we all have our stories, right? We all have our stories of pain and brokenness. So there already are messages that are really easy for our friends to accidentally affirm that might be like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, or I'm going to be rejected, or whatever that is. And they may unintentionally affirm those messages. And it feels like a very huge thing because you already have pain there. So I would say that. And then I would say something that I've learned is to just talk about it. Like if you're feeling like something is weird in your relationship, just feels off. I've really learned this with one of my close friends. Just be like, hey, are we okay? Like, did I do something? Like, are we all right? And it's probably like 75% of the time they're like, what? No, you're crazy. Like, no, we're good. And maybe I'm just like on my period and I am just feeling weird. But it just clears the air immediately. Or maybe it's like, you know what, actually you said this thing the other day and it was hurtful to me. And then it gives me the opportunity to be like, I am so sorry. I can totally see how I hurt you there. And I'm so sorry. Or on the flip side, if I've been hurt by something, just like gently bringing it up, like not coming in with just like accusations and anger and stuff, but being like, hey, so when you did this, I just was feeling misunderstood, or I felt hurt by this, and just giving opportunity to kind of air it out. And generally, I end up feeling a lot closer after those honest conversations.
Yeah, I love that. That's great, great advice. Well, before we go, there's a question that I ask all of our guests on the podcast, and I'm excited to ask both of you, and it has to do with our name. So our name is Radical Radiance, which really has a heart for helping equip and encourage women to radiate the heart of Jesus in all they do in their life, their work, their marriage, their relationships, all the things. And so a question that I love asking, and you can both answer separately if you want, is what about Jesus makes you radiant?
I love that Jesus loved people. I love that he almost had this struggle, Jesus work, but he kind of almost had this like rebellious thing with people where like you don't think I can go and love them? Watch me do it. Oh, you don't think I can speak to a woman? Watch me do it. You don't think I can go sit with that man over there? Watch me do it. You don't think I can heal on the Sunday, on the Sabbath? Watch me do it. I'm going to love people in such a wild way that the world has never seen before. And it's going to shape everybody. And I love that he loved people in it was just so bold, and it was everybody. He loved everybody. And I want to do that. Like, I want to see the people that aren't being seen. I want to go to the people who are being walked right past. Like, I want to love those people that everybody's going like, but you can't love them. Watch me do it. Watch me. He did, and I can too. I love that about him.
I love that. I would say similarly, just his love of people. Definitely. I feel similarly to that. I would also say that walking with Jesus is just so good. It's just so good. And I think what really helps me in my day-to-day is to stay in the path that he has for me, to stay in my lane, that I don't have to do all these other things, because there's needs everywhere, right? There's so many things that we could be doing, but to stay in my lane and just put one foot in front of the other in the things that he has called me to. And there's so much peace and grace in that space.
That's so good. That's so good. Okay, before we go, I want to have both of you share, where can people connect with you? Where can they go grab the book? All of those things.
I think you can grab the book. I honestly don't know. I hope anywhere. It comes out
Awesome.
January 5th. So go to Barnes and Noble, go to your, like, just ask for it. And if they don't have it, hopefully they'll get it. But go to your local. I'm actually a big fan of like these indie small bookshops. Go to
Yes.
them, support them first. Like, I love shopping small. That is just, there is something really happy about giving to a person who is in your community trying to serve it. So go to your small shops first, ask them to get it, support them. But Barnes and Noble, Amazon, obviously, Kindle, audio version, we hope that it's there.
Awesome.
Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. Good deal.
Sister I Am With You, or Amy Weatherly. Amy has her own page and I have my own page, Jess Johnston. And we are often on Sister I Am With You. We love that space. It's such a fun space.
Awesome. Well, I'm so grateful for you guys. I'm going to say the title of the book one more time. It's I'll Be There, but I'll Be Wearing Sweatpants. I can't wait for our listeners to listen to this episode. I'm so grateful for both of your hearts on friendship, and it was so fun to have you both today.
Thank you so much for having us. It was so fun.